What is going on, guys? We're the Little Kings. I'm Ryan, aka No Mercy Merc.
And I am also Ryan, aka Penguin Monster. On this episode of the Little Kings podcast, we talk about our favorite Saturday morning cartoons, our thoughts on filmmaking, Fall Guys Season 2 trailer is here, and there's a controversy surrounding Ninja's branded skin, and Call of Duty Cold War. What do we think?
Well, let's get into it.
Yeah. All right, we got a podcast. What's going on, buddy?
Oh, hey, man.
Hey. We got a rare Saturday morning edition. We've got the coffee out instead of the claws. So forgive us if we might seem a little bit slow here.
Yeah, this is a little change of pace.
Or a little bit slower than usual, I guess.
Yeah.
So I was thinking Saturday morning. When you were a kid, did you watch Saturday morning cartoons?
Oh, I mean, yes. I can't remember like what specific ones I watched on Saturday mornings, but I'm pretty sure I did.
See, I feel like it was when I was a kid. When I was younger, it was like Looney Tunes and like Tom and Jerry and Bugs. Like I guess Bugs Bunny is part of Looney Tunes, but that type of thing. I was at my dad's house quite a bit on Saturday mornings. And he didn't have cable, so it was just like the basic Warner Brothers cartoons. So it wasn't, I would watch SpongeBob and those things during the week, but Saturday morning it was whatever the basic cable morning cartoons were. I think then it became like Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Beyblade. I never watched Beyblade.
Oh my God, that was my morning shit.
So
but Yu-Gi-Oh, yeah.
Was Beyblade's cartoon, was it similar to Yu-Gi-Oh, where it was like, obviously in real life, Yu-Gi-Oh was the card game, but then you would, in the fake world, they would throw down the card and it would be this monster that spawns. Was it the same with Beyblade?
Absolutely. So you would rip your little Beyblade, it would spin.
Yeah, the spinny thing.
It would spin the thing, but then there'd be like a hologram that came out of the little center.
Oh,
piece
yeah.
That you could clip on and off.
Okay.
Big old hologram, and then the actual monsters would fight each other. So at that point, it looked like Pokemon, but there were little spinning things under them.
Oh, that's sick.
And by the time they zoom out, you can't even see the little bitty Beyblade that the hologram.
Right, so it's just like the monsters fighting each other.
You are Pokemon at this point.
Gotcha. Have you seen so because of the Yu-Gi-Oh cartoons and stuff, they sold this like thing that would go on your arm and then it would like open up, and that's where they would in the show put the cards on. Yeah. So obviously nothing would happen way back then, but now they have a VR game where you're in virtual reality and you'll play Yu-Gi-Oh and have like your hand with the cards. But then when you summon your monsters, they go into this big arena in front of you. And it's like two opponents battling each other like the real Yu-Gi-Oh show.
Oh my God. I'm not living.
Yeah, I haven't
played this game.
I haven't played it, but I've seen it. And I was like, this was the dream when I was a kid.
I'm going to be straight up with you. I had one of those little arm things as a kid.
Oh, I think I did too.
The addition was just the sound effect of when you like slid it in the little slot. It was like,
oh, when you put your deck in. Yeah. I think there were even different versions of it where it was like the more expensive you went, the more sound effects it had, probably.
DLC. No.
Yeah.
No, my big cartoon growing up, it wasn't on weekends, but like I vaguely remember, I think I watched Clifford the Big Red Dog every single morning before school.
Oh, okay.
I was a big fan of that dog.
I definitely saw quite a few episodes of Clifford the Big Red Dog.
Oh, he really helped me through a lot. He got me to where I am today. Thanks, Clifford, if you're watching.
We love you, Clifford. Stan Clifford.
The reality of it, though, is he was so large, he probably didn't have a very long lifespan, and that's hard to think about now,
Well,
it was really... Sorry.
Way to put a damper on the whole podcast.
I'm just saying, I think they only had 3 seasons. There's probably a reason.
Oh no. Yeah, what other I'm trying to think. So SpongeBob was also just a huge cartoon for me when I was a kid. I
Oh
feel
yeah.
like most of our generation too that really latched on to us. And then there was like Jimmy Neutron. Um the Fairly Odd Parents was huge.
Oh yeah.
Um
See, Code's Name Kids Next Door was
oh
like a
yes.
highlight of my life.
Yes. Which is funny
Yeah.
cuz wasn't there wasn't like the main guy number 1?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it reminded me because now there's the Umbrella Academy, and they all
Yes.
go by like different numbers there. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing with our generation too, with those cartoons, is we had the online experience of them too. Because like I don't know if you got really into them, but Nickelodeon and Disney, they all had their like gaming websites.
Right.
And so like I think I connected so heavily to certain cartoons because they converted them to video games. Like I remember Sandwich Stacker with the
Oh.
Stitch character,
Yep.
like it was yesterday. Like I would play that today. And
Yeah, I
so
wasn't
like they did all this stuff to like pull us in even more.
for
Hashtag
sure.
video games.
Yeah, I don't think I was the biggest like disneychannel.com or nickelodeon.com player. I definitely played some of those games. But you were streaming a few weeks ago and you played on addictinggames.com.
Oh
And
yes.
that shit was my jam. I would be I think that was probably before I must have had consoles, but it was probably one of those things where I was chilling in my bed and just wanted to play on my laptop or something. Because I would play those flash games like nobody's business. Like there was all these like Stickman games where you would like shoot different stick people, or there was like
Yes.
Fancy Pants Adventure. I don't know if you ever played that.
Mm-mm.
So this was a Stickman character that had like spiky hair, but then his pants were like these yellowish orange graphical pants. So he had fancy pants, but basically the rest of him was just a stick figure. And it was like a platformer that you would just like run and try to kill different people and like try to get up the level type of thing. But that it was so much fun. And then there was like the Impossible games like you played the other night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cookie Clicker.
Dude, addicting games look so polished now. Like I remember it as a kid being just like all over the place. Like nothing was formatted quite right.
Oh
And it
no.
was
It
just like,
was like
really?
basic HTML. Like there was no
Yeah.
fancy yeah.
Yeah. It was just like it was kind of like a mess. You almost felt like you were coding something to get to something.
Yeah. That's why like it took me a while to get into Reddit because Reddit was kind of similar where it just looks like a mess if you've never used it before.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I would love to see the traffic stats for addictinggames.com because I bet there's nowhere near as popular now. But maybe it's just that I'm older and not interested in it anymore.
Yeah, because like it's definitely I don't see it appealing to like the new generation. Like almost at all. Like I go there and I get a nostalgic feeling.
Right.
But like nostalgia only lasts for so long.
Yeah. But I
Even like
wonder
in a time span of playing it for like 2 hours, it was like, okay, I'm kind of ready to get out of here. But I don't think it would catch the attention of a new visitor of like Gen Z.
and why do you think that is?
I think they're just not.
Because we
I
had
think they have such high
consoles.
expectations, like for games and entertainment.
Okay. But I feel like we had AAA games and stuff and like consoles and everything.
I guess, but I one thing was we didn't necessarily have the money or necessarily the resources to actually get to them because like I remember I was only playing addicting games over at my friend's house because we didn't have like a real computer. Like my dad had a computer for his work, but like it wasn't for play.
Yeah.
So like it wasn't always readily available. Whereas I feel like every kid now they can well, I was
I
gonna
don't.
say they just download Fortnite on their iPad, but they
Oh,
kind of can't right
that's
now.
a good.
But
Well, true, but that's a good point with free to play. But I don't think we should necessarily assume that all kids now have the money for like a console. It's got to be similar, right?
well,
Like,
no, yeah, not for a console per
oh, but
se,
like you're
but I'm
saying,
just saying the
general
access to
internet
the
access.
internet. Yeah,
So wouldn't that help with addictinggames.com though?
but like they have so many better options
They
than
have other.
addictinggames.com.
Okay, I get what
Yeah.
you're saying. Yeah, because they could just download Fortnite on their computer.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Which did you see? What there was like a big Fortnite reveal that had just happened.
No, I didn't watch it. I
Yeah, it
I've kind of
was.
gotten away from Fortnite.
I just to like stay up to date thought I'd watch it. It was basically uh, they had done different things incorporating Marvel characters in the past,
Oh yeah.
but basically now it seemed like all of the Avenger characters and stuff like that are now in the game and playable.
Hmm.
And I believe that I think I was seeing that each one has their own battle pass. So I think they're making money on every single Marvel character.
Really?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
They're so smart. Like
Yeah.
like it's annoying, but like they're smart because they know it works.
Well, and I think so there is definitely a super competitive Fortnite scene, which is interesting. But I think their target demographic is kids, right? Like I think that's who play it the most. And so these superheroes, I think, will be. I mean, we were just talking. I love Marvel, and like I would be into that too if I played the game. But I think for their demographic, all these kids will want to unlock the different things for all the different Marvel characters. So they're going to be asking their parents for the credit card like every 5 minutes.
Yep. Hmm. And then their parents should be like, "Hey, you know what? Great website, addictinggames.com.
Oh,
Check it
there you
out."
go. There you go. Addictinggames.com is going to win.
Yeah. Huh. Huh. No, Fortnite's just like I never got super into it.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
never and don't plan on it really, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, but you can't deny that it was super popular.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Still is super popular,
Yeah.
actually. Surprisingly. I can't believe it's lived this long, but they've done all the right things. Like all the right things for a BR that you could possibly do, I think.
Yeah. I really like their ideas for kind of casual hangouts within their game world. Like they've done different concerts and things like that where it was like real time. You could be hanging out with your buddies within the world. And like Travis Scott played this awesome concert where it was like this stage on a portion of the map, and you thought basically you'd watch him like or his character model perform up on that stage. But then they were like, no, this is a fucking video game. Let's take this to huge scale. And Travis Scott just becomes like 30 feet tall in the game, and like all this crazy shit happens in the world and stuff. And I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Like that's insane for them to have to do. Because like they don't have to do that. Like they could have just probably made it like a concert and be like, "Oh, cool, Travis Scott
But
new song."
I wouldn't
Cool.
have heard of that, about it then.
I
Right.
probably not.
Right?
Probably not.
So it did probably pull in more players, I would think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But the like I watched it, and the amount of like animation that they probably had to do to get ready for all that, the even syncing lips in the animation is like huge.
Yeah.
And that matters so much to me. Like you know me in films. Like if a film isn't done the like right way, it doesn't matter what it's like about, if it's a good story, whatnot, it doesn't matter. to me. And so like I look for the smallest things in like any video film thing, and they had his lips like perfect for like in sync with his song and stuff. And like you don't have to do that. It's a video game. Like I would understand if they didn't, but they did it flawlessly.
Yeah, well, I think it made it that much better, and like more
For
people
sure.
talked about it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah,
I just
you're interesting with your like films and not wanting to watch them if they're. I mean, like I kind of get it. Like there will be things that I notice and I'm like, oh, that's kind of annoying, but I think it goes. It's sort of similar to games with me, where we talked about graphics and like how important that is to me. If the plot and like just overall what's happening in a movie is good and interesting to me, I can forgive like technically incorrect things. Just like I can forgive graphics on a video game.
see, I'm one of those people that like if it's a really intense like or sad or emotional scene and they flip camera angles and there's not that soda can sitting in the exact same place that the soda can was supposed to be sitting in, like they miss the continuity of the shot, boom, mood ruined for me. The like you lose.
Yeah.
And like I wish it didn't bother me as much, but I have studied film so much like as like a hobby that like I notice way too much in film now of like why didn't the director think of that, why was that missed, why was like
Yeah.
so it takes me out of the film, and I hate it. I don't want anybody to go do all their research because I want you to enjoy films, and it ruins it. Don't do it.
Right. Yeah. I think you're almost like too far now, because now, like, there probably are a lot of films that you wrote off that are still good overall, but they just got maybe some technical things incorrect.
Mhm.
Yeah, because I like to. That's why I don't love horror movies for some reason. I can't get as immersed into horror movies because I just find them. I like thrillers that are like real stuff that could happen, but for some reason when it's scary and also like supernatural, I just get like pulled out of the movie and I'm like, oh, that's like too
Hmm.
fake or something like that. Even though like I said, I like the Marvel movies. Of course, like there's not real like superheroes, but for some reason that genre, like when it's trying to scare me and I know at the same time, oh, this is super fake and not realistic, I don't get scared. So then I get pulled kind of out of the film. So
Mhm.
I can understand like your feeling, and like if you have that same feeling across the board with all these different films, it would be very hard to enjoy anything, which would suck.
Yep. And I'd say I also have another gripe, just like I like simple movies. So like all this CGI and stuff in the Marvel, like don't get me wrong, they do a great job. It looks fantastic. Like if it were real, that's how I would imagine it would actually look like.
Hmm.
But like I just like simple three camera shots with people and like, nothing too crazy. I don't know. I just have my specific format of what I think a good movie is, and it hinders me branching out and watching like box office films and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah. Well, to me, I can kind of enjoy both. Same thing with a game. Like I like both a AAA, super well produced, like spent $500 million to make it game, but then I also like indie games, and I feel like it's
Hmm.
similar with film, where I like the Marvel franchise in general. I mean, there's definitely some terrible movies, but then I will also watch some of my favorite movies. Just involve like one or two actors the entire movie,
Hmm.
and like if they can keep you interested that long with only that, to me that's super interesting. And like obviously they've done a good job with the writing, and like the way it was shot. If they hold your interest when there's not, I think it's very easy to hold your interest when there's CGI like superhero battles going on all the time and there's all this action. But when it's just plot driven and like dialogue, it's much harder to kind of pull you in and keep you there.
See, I'm kind of so different about the CGI fights and stuff in Marvel films because I think they're way too freaking long and they actually bore me and I get uninterested because like there's so much camera shake, there's so much stuff happening that it's like, all right, can we get back to like the story maybe? Like, okay, cool, they fight. I get that they get in a fight, but maybe like cut it in half. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could get that. I mean, like the Avengers. I just thought it was super interesting how they like it's Avengers Assemble, but how they assembled the Avenger movies over time, and how there was like 25 different movies that all led up into the final thing, and it's like yeah, there were tons of action scenes and stuff like that, but they had thought out starting with like Iron Man 1, which was like over a decade ago. There were little scenes and things that happened in that movie that led up to Avengers Endgame. And that to me is really cool. Like if you know the kind of behind the scenes, like planning and all that went into that, that's super cool. That's a level above like the terrible Ben Affleck, DC films type things. So yeah, but I get it. Like it definitely is. Christina and I marathon them at one point and we were watching like 10 back to back to back. And it did get boring in terms of just the action, but it was like, we wanted to catch up because we knew, I think it was Endgame was coming out. So we wanted to know like the lore behind it all type of thing.
No. See, I
hated all the DC films basically. Not. Did you like The Dark Knight?
Yeah. Dark Knight's good.
Okay, yeah. So that to me was much more of a like yes, there were action scenes, but that wasn't super CGI, like flying around type action. So I could see that being more interesting to someone like you. And I think those were. I mean, Christopher Nolan is like one of the best filmmakers of our time, I feel like.
I know no directors' names. Realistically, like I don't know directors' names. I barely even know like actors and actresses' names even. Like I can pin them for their characters.
I get not knowing the actors and actresses, but if you're super into like the technical filmmaking, wouldn't you have like certain directors that inspire you and like you like some of the way they do things and things like that?
I don't know their names, no.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. The thing that I need to do is I need to watch movies without watching the trailers. I have to do that because once I start a movie, I'm probably going to finish it. Like even
Unless
if there's all these things
garbage.
I nitpick on, even then I might even actually finish it. Like
sometimes it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But there's too many times I discredit a film just based off their trailer, just because like I don't think that would like appeal to me.
Trailers are horrible though. Sometimes
I know.
Because they're just like manufactured to appeal to the most broad audience possible. And a lot of the times, like the actual like directors or people behind the whole movie, excuse me, they won't even be the ones who edit and put together the trailers. Like that'll just be the production studio who's like, how can we try to sell this to as many people as possible?
Yeah, I did. Even for video games, like I think we've talked about it before, even on the podcast. It's just like trailers are a no-go. Like you really probably shouldn't watch a trailer,
right?
Honestly,
yeah. I actually just hitting real quick on Christopher Nolan. Like he's one of my favorite filmmakers, and I've loved almost every single one of his films. So I don't watch trailers anymore if it's from Christopher Nolan. I just know, I'm probably gonna like this movie. I'm just gonna go into it without knowing anything about it.
So I guess like how do you find out that Christopher Nolan is releasing a new film?
I'll see it on like Twitter, or it's usually huge news because he's so popular
Oh,
now.
okay.
I mean, he's
Okay.
made so much money. Like he's the one who's done Inception. He did Interstellar. Like he's done really huge movies.
I like those too.
Have you seen The Prestige?
No.
Oh, see, that's a good early Christopher Nolan movie, which has Christian Bale, who was obviously in Batman, but it also has Hugh Jackman in it, and is a very, I think, kind of under the radar Christopher Nolan movie that was super good that I recommend.
Okay. All right. I might need like a list. I might make a Discord list of like best movies Merc should
Oh,
watch.
that'd be fun. Yeah.
My claim to fame as of right now is I've never watched Pulp Fiction.
Oh,
Everybody disses me on it. Is like, what the hell are you doing?
yeah.
Why have you not watched it?
How about, so have you watched most? See, that's Tarantino. Like, did you know that was Quentin Tarantino?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
My friend in college made that very clear.
Okay. So have you watched other Tarantino films?
I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea.
Oh man.
What's some titles? What are some titles?
Oh god, I'm gonna blank. So Django Unchained was one of them. That was
No,
a
never saw
very
it.
popular one with Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio. The Hateful Eight was one of them.
Nope. See, he's very gore action packed. Like not necessarily gore, but he's very
Gore.
he's-
Gore.
Oh, it is gore.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
He's very like action packed, like very explosive. Very.
Well, so Once
Right?
Upon a Time in Hollywood was his last
No.
one.
No, I didn't see that.
That was his last one. There was no violence in it until like the last. Oh, this is kind of a spoiler, I guess. But until like the last 10 to 15 minutes of the film, and it's like almost a 3 hour long film.
See, that's the thing with him too, is he makes just
They're very long.
long ones.
Yeah, the Hateful Eight was filmed on like this old, I think 70 millimeter, like actual film canisters.
Yeah, I think it's 60.
60. Okay, yeah, you know more of the technical
Yeah.
background of it, but basically, and it all takes place in basically this one cabin, and there's obviously 8 main characters, and it's basically all dialogue and then some violence as well. And it was so long, it actually has an intermission.
Oh my god.
And I went to one of the theaters that actually played it on the film that it was shot on, and like you had to basically look up these special theaters. It was somewhere in Miami, and they followed the intermission. Like a lot of the movie theaters cut that out and were just like, you sit here and type of thing. But it was kind of cool to be not at a play, to be in a movie and have like a 10 or 15 minute intermission, then come back. But it was
So wait,
filmed
this is
with
my-
that specifically in mind.
So, did he make Revenant?
No,
Was he Revenant with DiCaprio?
no.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that was oh, shoot. His name is slipping me. It's I think he's a Hispanic director. It's really good.
Yeah. It was
Have you
really
seen
good.
The Revenant?
Yeah, I watched it with you. I'm pretty sure. I think we went to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we went to the movies together.
See, that's a pretty long film.
Oh yeah, that one is long. That was
Yeah.
phenomenal though. That was really good. All realistic.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Yeah.
he literally ate the, like, was it an elk heart or whatever
Something. Or
whatever
whatever he
animal that
crawled
was.
into, I don't
He
know.
was a vegetarian too at the time, I know.
That's wild.
Because he's very into the environment and everything. Yeah, that the way that was filmed, whoever did the cinematography for that was amazing. I think he won an Academy Award for it.
Anyways, so we've been stuck in the movie universe for like, and I'm sure we could stay there for the
Oh yeah,
remainder
we
of
could
this
do a whole
podcast.
film podcast, I'm sure. Yeah.
But I actually want to jump back to Fortnite. Fortnite,
Okay.
if you remember, put in a skin for a specific person who made their game basically like huge. Best player in their game probably ever. Ninja.
Sure.
Remember, they put a customized skin in for him.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen all the talks about Fall Guys doing their little auction for charity to get a skin into the game.
Right.
So as of right now, August 29th, Ninja had teamed up with AIM Labs, which like AIM Labs is a pretty cool app. That can be another discussion if we want it. But they've teamed up for $500,000 to get a Ninja skin into the game. And there are a lot of people that have said, I will quit Fall Guys if there's a Ninja skin in the app.
So,
Thoughts?
all those people who said that they would quit Fall Guys if there's a ninja skin, they really need to like, I don't know, go outside and like just take a breath, because that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. If you enjoy a game, you don't have to use the skin. Plus, I don't know if you mentioned this when you were saying it, all this money is not going to Fall Guys. It's going to a charity.
Yeah, I said it's a charity event.
Okay. So that doesn't make any sense to me, that like, I'm not one of those types, you know, I definitely will have my biases and, you know, have my likes and dislikes, and maybe I'll be, you know, a little bit turned off by a game or a movie if they do something. But I don't know, like you talked about with film and how like sometimes it ruins your enjoyment. I try to let myself just be open to things and like not let, to me, a small thing like a skin completely ruin something for me. To me, if I was such a ninja hater, which I'm not, but if I was like, oh, he's the worst, you know, so annoying, I would just be like, oh, there's a ninja skin, I'm just not going to use that. Like, I still like the Fall Guys game.
Yeah.
So I don't really get that. But I mean, you know, what do you think about it?
Do I want to see 59 other ninjas racing my hot dog? No, not really.
What if you're beating them?
But like, if I'm a lone hot dog in the lead, I'm down for that.
I don't think
Also-
you really think that
also
many people
not-
use it.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Because like I got when they would use it in Fortnite, right? Because he was so popular and big in that game. But I don't know. I don't know if he'd be quite as popular in the Fall Guys universe.
See, that's where I think people are more like, why even have a skin then? Like, this isn't your game. Like you, why do you don't even go here? Like, that's kind of like what I think that they're taking their route on, in that like I don't know. I think it's different because it is for charity. If it were
Right.
like, if the first ever skin of a person introduced into the game was Fall Guys' choice of ninja, I can see that being very different. Being like, why?
Yeah, but yeah, to me it's totally different though, because it wasn't even like it's literally a bid, and it's just to charity. Obviously, Ninja got the huge bag from Mixer, so Ninja's probably looking to how can I, you know, give back a little bit. I think it's a video game charity. We'll definitely throw more of a description into the or we'll throw a link into the description below. But you know, that to me, that's just a good thing that they're going back and forth with how much money can be raised for this charity. Ninja's into the game. I mean, he's been streaming the game. So I don't know. I'm not that bothered by it. And like, you just don't have to use it if you don't like it.
Right. So I see it as, one, I don't think Ninja's gonna win. I think since it is bid, I think someone's gonna swoop in at the very end and, you know, pick it up.
Could happen. Yeah.
But I think this is like a brilliant move by Ninja and AIM Lab's marketing team, honestly. Like, I think
for
it's
sure.
getting their names out, because AIM Lab is really picking it up with trying to publicize like their software, their download game, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
And I think it's a perfect opportunity to keep Ninja's name relevant while Fortnite's in a little bit of a rut, and also boost up AIM Lab. So I think it's brilliant by both of them, but I don't think he's going to win.
Yeah, we've kind of gone back and forth on this offline. I think Ninja, and we might have even talked about this a little bit on the podcast. He's definitely declined in terms of overall popularity, and like not as many people watch his streams. But he is one of the smartest streamers when it comes to his overall brand. And I think this is just another example of that. There's going to be people who play Fall Guys who may have not. I mean, how do you play a video game and not have not heard of Ninja? But there will be people, and if they see that skin, they'll probably be interested and be like, who's this person? And they're going to look up Ninja, and then that kind of grows your brand more and more and more. And Aim Labs, yeah, they've been killing it. I hadn't even heard of Aim Labs until maybe a few weeks ago. They did like a sponsored thing with 100 Thieves. I was watching a Hiko stream, and they're in there gifting subs to everybody left and right. Like they're really getting their name out there for people who watch video game content, and I think are more likely to use a aim trainer than just like a general casual gaming audience.
Yeah, their marketing budget must be insane because I do see them spending money like left and right to get this thing out. Because
Yeah.
like if you think about it, their target audience isn't Fall Guys. Like,
Oh no.
but I guess teaming up with Ninja, who does FPSs, plays Valorant, and does Fortnite,
Right.
that it's a good call. But I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I mean, I don't know who's behind Aim Labs, but when you talk about like general company marketing funds, like that's kind of not that huge of a number, honestly. Like 250,000 is for a huge company is not that much money.
But how big are they?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
That's the thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're like a startup that's its own thing, or if it's like backed by, one of the bigger industry companies.
Yeah, that's true. I guess we're both not super knowledgeable on the topic, so maybe
Right.
we don't dive too much into it. But they are
What do you
spending
mean? I love
money.
doing that. I love talking about things I have no idea about.
Oh my god, false news. No.
Well, speaking of Fall Guys,
Okay,
Fall Guys Season 2 trailer dropped. Did you ever check that out?
I saw that. Yeah.
So I think so. I'm a big Fall Guys fan, right? Like,
Yep.
I've talked about it on the podcast.
Huge, one of the biggest.
Yeah, the Fall Guy. I'm disappointed with not only what they've developed, but also how long it's going to take to come out. I
Oh,
think
did they announce a date?
I think it's like October 6th. It's beginning of October.
Oh,
So I think they've really missed the mark, and I don't know if they're going to be relevant or as relevant for another month without new content. And so that's kind of its own thing, is when it's going to come out. But then also, and of course I haven't played the maps, but the concept of the maps to me, most of it looked like recycled content from other maps kind of combined together. There is like this new thing where you can move around different ramps, which is kind of its own technical thing that looks like it's fairly cool. I think that's going to be annoying as hell if there's tons of people around it. But basically, they just look like reskins and like combining different concepts rather than a totally new concept that they haven't done before. There is one map, it's all medieval themed. So there is one map that has like swinging guillotines, and there's like a log roll and like different things. That to me looked like the coolest map. All the other ones looked like almost like reskins or adding two things from two different maps into one.
yeah.
And I'm just not
Yeah.
very into the medieval theme as well. I mean, it's kind of cool, but I feel like there's so many other things that you could have done first that would have been a lot more creative and fun looking.
Yeah, I think I
But
stated that on stream. It's like everyone can relate to hot dogs and food. Like everyone loves food.
Sure.
Not everyone loves the medieval times. Like that's not really like everyone's cup of tea or cup of coffee, I should say, as you take a sip of coffee.
Oh.
um, yeah, I was slightly disappointed as well. I did like the unicorn. There was like a nice unicorn looking
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one.
Agreed.
And there was a witch. I
I think
liked
there was
the
a
witch too
dragon
for
too.
Halloween kind of theme.
Yeah. Yeah. They could do like a whole Halloween. I'm sure they will do a Halloween pack. I would think.
They better.
Yeah.
They better.
But yeah, the medieval times thing, like if this was like peak Game of Thrones, like before they ruined it time, then I could see it being super extensible and popular. But besides that, you know, there's so many cooler things that they could have done.
So I think the really nice thing about Fall Guys is their social media, like, oh, what's it called? Appearance. They're like, whatever. Their social media
Yeah.
is like they're super into it. They're gonna take feedback very honestly, and so like if enough people stress that like this doesn't look like it's gonna do it for us, yeah, I wouldn't put it past them changing some stuff, tweaking some stuff, since they do have so much time too. It's like
Well, that's the
I could
thing
see them
is like,
changing stuff.
how much time do they actually have? Because, so I think what might have happened is they didn't expect the game to be this popular at all. I would guess that their development team is relatively small. So I don't know. I'm sure they're trying to hire like crazy right now. Actually, I think I have seen that they did a bunch of job postings. They're trying to get at least 20 plus, I think, devs in there. But without those people kind of incorporated and knowing the code base and being able to put out product, which will take, it takes at least a few months, I would think, to get all those people hired and trained and everything. They probably just don't have the resources that they need to really be as quick as they should be right now.
So I mean, I wonder if they didn't even have October on the roadmap of an update, but they had to do these rebrands,
I
these
think
reskin of obstacles just to keep it fresh and exciting, and hopefully there was something bigger on the back burner that
I think
might
this
bring
was
more
the
people
plan.
back. But
I think this was the plan from the beginning because I think the season said when it was ending, it was like 60 days from when it launched or something like that. So
interesting.
I just think they should have tried to move that up if they could, because it is like, I don't think I've seen a game take Twitch and social media by storm as much as this game in a very long time. And I'm betting that it's not going to stay at that level. They're going to do well. I mean, the production budget on this, they've made it back 100 times, I'm sure, at this point. But I feel like they could have kept the popularity as high for a lot longer if they came out with new content quicker.
That's true.
So
That's true. I don't know. I've started to enjoy the game. I hope it survives. I hope it stays interesting. I'd love for it to be around for a good bit, but
yeah,
I think I'm gonna have to side with Shroud on this one. Simp boy over here. I don't.
Of course.
I think it's gonna fall off almost as quickly as it came on.
It
like,
probably
I
will.
don't think it's gonna have a long life.
It probably will. Yeah. One quick thing, we can definitely get off Fall Guys, but I did want to mention, you talked about their social media stuff, and you hadn't heard about the Fallen one, right? Yeah. So they did this thing called the Fallen one, where the Peabody skin that came out from Portal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before that came out, 2 or 3 days before, they posted on Twitter and said, we're going to gift the Portal skin to the statistically best Fall Guys player and name them the Fallen one. And we're going to gift it 3 days early. And so statistically best Fall Guys player is like number of wins, 2 games played. And I'm sure there was like a minimum number of games played, because if you won one that you first played, obviously you'd be statistically the best. But I think there was a minimum. So, and the cool thing behind it was even their team didn't know who won. They just like made some sort of algorithm to test this out and then sent it and like didn't know who it was behind the scenes. So on social media, they're like, who is the fallen one? And they're like, you know, we want to see the screenshot, let's celebrate it type of thing. And it took like almost a full 24 hours. And the main guy who tweets is so funny. He was like, guys, I thought this was the greatest idea. This is a total flop if nobody shows us who the fallen one is. Like, this is such a fail. I'm going to feel like the worst for this. Please check your skins. Like, who is the fallen one? And they put out the Fall Guys number, which, you know, there are people that have the same number. And Dr. Lupo was streaming. And Dr. Lupo had that Fall Guys number. And they showed live, he was like, oh, am I the fallen one? He went into his skins, Peabody's skin was there.
No way.
Dr. Lupo was the fallen one. He had like, I think maybe it was over 25 or over 50 wins in like his first 3 days playing.
Holy cow.
Yeah. So he was the statistically best Fall Guys player, and the reaction of getting the skin was recorded live on his Twitch stream.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's just wholesome.
I also love that
totally fits Dr. Lupo.
I know. I love it because he always roasts the hell out of Tim. And like Tim is obviously known as one of the worst Fall Guys player. That's become a meme. So I just love that like he's now the best Fall Guys player and can make fun of Tim eternally for that.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's run down the list. Let's see what's going on next. Okay, here we go. So, did you know? Sorry, that was my coffee hit me real quick right there.
Saturday morning news show.
So, I don't know if this was actually like marketed very well. I know that you aren't on Facebook actively. So, Facebook Gaming has been pushing their app lately. A lot on Facebook, like Facebook Gaming specifically.
Okay.
Like, so you're not gonna know, but when you're on the regular Facebook app, there's like a little, it looks like a little Tetris box that you click and it brings up the streams or whatnot. Okay. Very, very badly formatted. Everything's awful about it. So they actually came out with an iOS specific Facebook Gaming app 3 weeks ago.
This is a standalone app. That's okay.
So inside that, it looks very much like your typical Twitch app.
This must be
it is much well formatted and stuff like that. And I can't believe I missed it 3 weeks ago that they came out with it on iOS. But
so this must be like what they've done after the Mixer merger.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. That lines up. So I honestly, it doesn't make it more appealing to me. Because right. I still think Facebook is a very personal place, and I don't think it's a place for hobbies where you just want to like not. I don't know. Like personally, my personality changes when I stream versus outside of stream. Not like a ton. Like I'm not like a completely different person, but I definitely have different.
So I don't know. I obviously know you in real life, and
yeah,
you've said this before. I don't really think your personality changes. I just think you kind of dial it up a little bit while you're on stream, which I think is very normal.
Yeah.
Because if you're gonna watch a live stream of someone, you don't want to just see them chilling on the couch, sitting there like being normal real life. But I don't think you're like a whole separate persona. It's not like you put on the Dr. Disrespect character type of thing.
Right. Yeah. I probably sit at like a 5 on my dial, and I dial it up to like 10 on stream.
Right. Yeah.
In terms of like energetic and yeah.
Yeah. So I would say you're more entertaining while you're streaming than in real life.
Why? Thank you. Thank you. I get that a lot actually. So if I know that 3 of like my friends from high school are watching my stream on Facebook, it's like I'm gonna feel weird. Like I don't know. There's something weird about like streaming to people That's why I don't share stuff with my IRL. We talked about this on another stream. Is that like this is my thing right now. Like if I get big enough that like it's kind of fair game. Like everyone's gonna find out eventually. Then
Sure.
that's one thing. But while it's small and mine, I want to keep it like
Yeah, I
hidden,
get
kind
that.
of.
Is there no way to have a separate streaming account? Like, do you have
There,
to stream from your personal Facebook profile?
no, you don't have to. But I think the appeal that Facebook wants is you to use your regular profile because, oh, look, you already have 600 friends on Facebook. Go
Ugh,
ahead and stream from your personal account. Maybe 10 of them will watch you. They'll bring you up to the list and you'll be good to go. You'll be growing like crazy.
that's not it for me.
Exactly.
Yeah,
No, 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 no.
that's
And
a
some
no
people
for
might
me.
be like that. Some people might be like that that have been, maybe their whole friends list is just people they've only played like video games with and stuff. And maybe that's appealing to start that way, but I don't know.
Yeah,
But I do appreciate them increasing the functionality of their UI. Even if it's just through their app for now, it shows that they actually have a care for gaming, which will be beneficial for the industry in a whole because,
competition
competitive.
is
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. So
yeah,
good thing to see.
that's interesting. Yeah, I'll never watch Facebook gaming unless it takes over the entire industry and I have to.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think it's good to have the competition kind of step up Twitch's or YouTube's game as well.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube, I think, has been killing it lately when it comes to streaming content.
Hmm.
And I think Doc obviously switching over has been huge. But I was looking at whoever's the head of YouTube gaming, his name is slipping me. I think his name is Ryan actually.
Good name.
He was tweeting out like just like view statistics, and they have skyrocketed like over the past couple months, seemingly coinciding with Mixer, but it's been outside of just Doc and Ninja and those kind of bigger folks, and it's probably because those bigger folks came over. So then people were like, oh, this is a thing that I can see on YouTube, and now they're watching it more often type of thing. But I think they should do something similar to Facebook where they have more of kind of this standalone section for streaming that is really streamlined and kind of more of a similar format to Twitch. I know part of their kind of leg up is that all the other people are on YouTube anyways. But if there's a way that they could direct people to this kind of standalone gaming that's a little bit better of a UI for live streaming, that might be kind of the perfect medium there. Even if it's like just a second, which I think it's kind of like that now, but if it was a more clear tab to go into, and then they had sorting functions that were more similar to Twitch, and then you can still go back and forth between live content and recorded content.
I just think like it is so hard to go on YouTube and find someone who's streaming a specific game. Like there's no filters for like who is live right now. Like
There
if I
is.
search Fall Guys and there's a filter for live right now.
Yeah.
There is?
Yeah, it's just really hard to find.
Oh, okay. See, that's the problem.
Because there's like the left bar, and
Yeah.
there's like a gaming section of that bar, and then I think you can click that, and then you can search for a specific game within that, and it's more like the categories page on Twitch. But then the sorting of who's live, I don't think goes by views, and I think that's a little more messed up. But there is a way to, even when you go on the main, this is so janky, when you go on the main YouTube page, if you search for a game, I think there's a filter that you can apply that says just live content. But like obviously you have to click filters, then you have to make sure that it's checked for just live and like go through that and who wants to do that. But there is a way to do it. It's just not clear at all.
I think there should just be like a drop down, kind of like Google has once you actually search something that has like web, images, video,
Right.
news. It should just be like a drop down of like YouTube live streaming, whatever you like. I think it should just be simple. I don't
Yeah.
understand how they can't just like, let's do this. Let's do this.
I feel like they could. They're just not making it a priority.
Yeah,
I
that's
have
sad.
been getting a lot more because I've been watching Doc quite often. I feel like a decent amount since he's come to YouTube, and so I have started getting on just my general home recommended page live streams within the video tiles that used to be just straight up videos a lot more. But I had to actively seek out that live content first for it to start appearing on my page.
Yeah, so I actually watched our podcast on YouTube in its entirety.
Uh-huh.
And at the end of it, I have my autoplay feature on.
Right?
It went straight to Doc's live stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like that was where it directed us
Hey,
to autoplay.
YouTube, would you mind turning that around?
Yes, please.
That's funny.
Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting that it went straight to his live live stream.
Yeah. One thing I have noticed is that I believe they have sort of like a VOD feature, and his live streams will go into his recorded videos, and I don't know how I feel about that. Because obviously he'll normally edit up, certain things that are like highlights of the stream, which makes sense. Like that's what a lot of people do and put that content on YouTube. But it's weird to me that alongside his recorded, edited content is like a 5-hour live stream.
Mm-hmm.
I almost wonder if that should be a separate tab.
Yeah, so I actually had that discussion on stream the other night because I played a game that is decision based.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a brand new game called Tell Me Why. I streamed it for 3 hours and I was like, I don't know how this is like at the end of it, I was talking to chat and I was talking about how like this seems more like stream content than video content because if you clip up too much, they lose the storyline.
Sure. Yeah.
And how you got to where you got. And so the chat was just talking about how like, no, just post the whole thing. Like people who are interested in this want to see the whole 3-hour experience. But it's like, do I want that on the same channel as that I have produced media already on it? Because then it's not appealing to like all subs. And do people unsub if they see 3-hour videos posted on? I don't know.
I think you're going to get a mix, right? Like you're going to get people more like you that are like things have to be technically right and they have to look good, and like who will probably not be as interested in that. So there are like playlist features on YouTube that are decent, and I think you could have like a stream highlights playlist and then VOD playlist type of thing. But you're right, if you go to just your videos, it will show up kind of side by side. But I think as long as you're clear enough that this is a different category, it's still like gaming content. It's not like you posted a vlog or like something completely outside of your normal content.
That's true.
So I don't know, but I agree with your chat in that there will be folks who are interested in just watching the long form content. I think YouTube used to be very much based on quick, like 2 to 3 minute videos, and that's all people wanted to watch, and they had very short attention spans. But honestly, now on YouTube, I watch stuff that are 2 to 3 hours, usually like different podcasts and things. I feel like I watch that content way more than, a 90-second cat video like I used to in the old days.
Right. Yeah, good point.
So, I mean, this podcast is, over an hour. Like, there are people who want long form content sometimes on YouTube as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true. Do you know, is there a way to publish a video on YouTube without notifying subs?
I don't know.
That it went
I'd
live?
have to look
Okay.
at, I'm sure that's one of the things of the video option probably, but I don't know.
Hopefully. Yeah. Okay. Because I think something like that would be like, you don't want all your subs to necessarily get a notification if they have your bell turned on because they're not all going to be interested. Mm-hmm. But it would still be nice to give them the option that it would come up in their list maybe higher because they are sub to you, but they can just not click it. Something like that.
Yeah. I mean, also, if they get the notification, they could just be like, nah,
True.
you know.
True.
I don't know how
Yeah.
many people are going to be like, now it's different if you consistently came out with new content that's way different. But like a
Right.
one-off, I don't know how many people would unsubscribe just because of that.
True.
I
True.
also, I don't know if I'm kind of unique in this. Years ago, I would use my sub box primarily. And
Yeah.
that's how I would view my different videos. Now I
Yeah.
feel like I hardly ever go to my subscriptions. I just go to like the main homepage. The the stuff that they show in terms of that algorithm usually is exactly what I want to see. It'll include my subscriptions, but it'll also be stuff I'm not subscribed to at all. And I hardly ever click YouTube subscriptions now.
Yeah. I'm the same way. Their recommended like
Yeah.
videos are so good. Whoever wrote their algorithm needs a raise, like now.
For real. And I'm sure
Probably got
like
a good amount.
I'm sure I've missed many of my subscribed videos because of that.
Yeah.
But it's like it's obviously what I've been the most into lately, that will get shown to me, and so that's usually what I'll click. It's not like, because also your sub box gets kind of flooded if you've subscribed to too many people. So like people I subscribed to 6 years ago but haven't watched a video of theirs in that time, but I haven't unsubbed. Of course, I'm not going to usually click on that. So my Discover page doesn't have that.
Right. What's super tough and what really annoys me with YouTube sometimes is sometimes I'll use my YouTube account to like, do a lot of research on a video editing technique or
Then it's all you see.
and then it transitions, it flips right in front of your eyes. It's like, okay, now you don't want to watch Valorant highlights. You want to watch all these informative tutorial videos. And I'm like, no. How do I switch it back?
So you can do that.
Wait, hold on. What?
So it takes work.
Oh,
So a lot of people are not likely to do that, but you can go to your history and you can say like not interested for like recommended videos or something like that.
oh,
Yes. So you can try to flip the algorithm a little bit back around, but I understand most people are unlikely to take the time to do that.
yeah.
What I tend to do is if there's like a super specific thing like that, I'll just open an incognito window and just go to it so that it doesn't get hooked into my algorithm.
See, I have YouTube Premium, so like I like the no ads portion of it, and I can't get that in incognito, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because if I
unless you
log
use
into my
ad block.
YouTube account, then yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of wish YouTube would narrow down your algorithm to maybe like 5 keywords. And maybe if one of those keywords gets like subbed out for something new that you were looking up, that you could just maybe go back and uncheck it. And maybe they're like, okay, maybe that as a whole, you were interested for that amount of time, but you don't want it anymore or something like that.
Gotcha. Versus having to go to specific videos and say like, hey, this isn't it.
Yeah, because honestly, like sometimes for Premiere Pro tutorials or whatever, I'll look like 10 videos deep and
Right.
then find out another technique I want to use, watch another 10 videos deep.
Right.
And so like
But
that's
then
a lot.
Yeah, but then a week later you're like, well, I already know how to do this. Why I don't need all these Premiere Pro tips.
Exactly.
I understand that completely.
So
I once really, really messed up my YouTube algorithm, and it took a long time to get it back. And this was before I knew. I think actually this might have been how I learned about this feature. I don't know if I want to say this on the podcast. Whatever.
you have to.
Sometimes, people are different. I find certain videos oddly satisfying when it has to do with like pimple popping and like ingrown toenail extractions and like earwax removal. And I get it. Most people think that's gross. There is a huge following behind it, though.
Giant.
I'm not like unique in terms of this. Like, however, I don't really want that content recommended when I'm sitting down to eat dinner, and that's my main YouTube thing. And it was literally like, I think one night I was just like, oh, these are super satisfying. Like this was years ago. Like I think when I first discovered this kind of phenomenon. So I went down the rabbit hole. And of course, that was when recommended videos were on the sidebar and you just click and click and click and click. But then it was like my Discover page was just that stuff for a while. And I was like, yeah, YouTube, I liked that for that night. And like, maybe I want to watch it occasionally, but I'm not going to like mainly view this pimple popping stuff for the rest of my YouTube life. Like,
It's the crazy stalker girlfriend that you went on one date with, and it's just
exactly.
Like, are you sure? Like, you don't want to go on a date with me again?
Exactly.
Are you sure?
Yeah, so that really jacked up the algorithm for me for a little while, and it was weird because it was like anytime I'd look on my phone or on my computer, I was like, are there going to be people around me when I'm opening up YouTube? Like, I mean, it could be worse, I guess, but yeah, that's definitely something you got to explain to someone if they're like, oh, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah. Do you know how many different accounts or profiles you can have under the same account? Like, could you make like 7 different accounts under the same single YouTube login and just be like, this is my Adobe tutorial one. This is my pimple popping one. This is my...
That's actually not a bad idea. I don't know.
I don't know if they limit it. I know that I have one account that has like 3 different profiles on it.
Yeah.
I don't know like necessarily why, but...
Huh. I never really thought about that. Yeah, I mean, like, I do have my personal account, and then I have the Penguin Monster YouTube account. Honestly, I've not noticed which one I've been signed into, so now the Discover page is very similar. Yeah. But, yeah, that would be interesting if you could maybe have different taste profiles that you go between. But that's, again, that's work to switch between them, so it would probably just kind of meld at some time.
Probably. Well, anyways, I think Are we over an hour?
Oh, yeah.
Did time fly by?
Time flew by. That coffee got in us.
Oh, man.
I was a little worried when we started off, but yeah, we marathoned through that.
Dang, I got like 3 topics.
I do too. Do we want to do... Because I have at least one that's or 2, actually, that are pretty time specific. I don't know if we want to try to lightning through them, or we could just say forget it. I
think we should save them, honestly. Okay. Yeah. Neither of mine are like super quick. So yeah.
Sounds good.
think unless if there's one like super short, quick one you want to touch on. But like if you want to go into depth on these, then totally, I think we should wait.
This would be a short one. Okay. Did you watch the Call of Duty Cold War trailer?
I did. Yeah.
What did you think?
I thought the inclusion of the president is really, really interesting.
Strange, right?
Really interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if they needed some sort of clearance or like permission to do this. I don't know where those laws and guidelines go, but
I thought the same thing while I was watching it. I think I actually watched it on stream and I said the same thing. But then I thought, wait a second, movies do that kind of stuff all the time.
That's true.
So then I was like, well, I know it is a little bit weird because they can make the character do whatever they want, but they kind of do that in movies as well. If there's any like time traveling or anything, they'll make up an actor to look like the past president and say different things.
That's true.
But it was, especially for a Call of Duty game that's like very gory and violent and things like that, it was shocking to me to see that at first.
Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in the whole concept of the game, and this may be one of the first campaigns I ever play of Call of Duty, just because this trailer really did pull me in.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, like trailers don't usually get me, but this one they did a really good job on.
I agree. I think the campaign looks really interesting, and I can't wait to see. I think it comes out early September, the multiplayer trailer, because I think the weapons and things like that could be really cool. But I'm also very excited to see what they're going to do in terms of a battle royale mode, because you could do so many different interesting maps around Cold War theme, I feel like. So,
So
I'm excited to see that.
how long has Modern Warfare been out now? Like, how often do they turn over these games?
So it
Because
used to be yearly, but I think it's longer now. I feel like Modern Warfare came out in 2018.
I just feel like they kill off their content so often.
Oh, it was 2019 actually. Well,
So
do they kill it off or do they get people to buy a $60 game again? And I know
yeah,
Warzone was free, so that's a little bit different, but still.
it wasn't a start, was it?
I
It
think
was like halfway
Warzone.
through they changed Warzone to be free.
Oh, was it? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember we were trying to convince the base to download or to buy Call of Duty. And then all of a sudden they changed the switch for Warzone was free and then Tom or someone downloaded it or something.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know. Their business model must work because they've honestly killed their own games about 9 times over now.
Yeah.
But like
Well,
honestly, like if you're thinking about like the reskin of Fall Guys, I almost said Valorant. Um honestly, that is that not what Call of Duties are? Different Call of Duty games? They're just kind of like I guess okay.
a lot of times they have a
I'm very
different.
heavy multiplayer person. You have to consider that
Yeah.
too.
Your
So
mic's
like
getting some feedback for some reason now.
is it
Yeah.
is it okay now?
Better.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like I'm a multiplayer person.
Right.
So it's basically a reskin for me from game to game. Like there's really not too much different
Right.
between
Yeah.
them.
I mean, new
some of the
maps.
guns introduced or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No,
But
it is. I mean, it is kind of just reskin content. But I will say, I think Modern Warfare was the best Call of Duty to come out for quite some time. And I think Warzone specifically was. They did have a battle royale mode with I think the last Black Ops, but it was garbage.
Blackout.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But it was not anywhere near as fun as Warzone. So I do think they kind of stepped it up in terms of that last game. But you're right. I mean, it's like any huge AAA game, like the sports games, like Madden. I mean, that could be DLC for like 5 years, but they
True.
just know they can sell a full priced game every year, and the people who like that game are gonna buy it because they want the new content. It's basically like locked DLC. Like they don't change much in terms of the game engine or even the graphics or anything like that. They do a little usually, but it's like, oh, we can just sell another $60 game. Why don't we do that?
Good point.
So
It just feels like wasted work. Like you're literally just scrapping your entire project. And like or do
But
they make updates to games? Like do they still make Modern Warfare updates even when this Cold War comes out? Or is it kind of just like put on the back burner and hopefully it survives?
I think it's pretty much put on the back burner.
Yeah,
I don't think they care.
so sad.
Yeah, but like from a business perspective, that's not wasted time if they're getting in the revenue of the new game, right?
I guess, but as a developer, like an actual coder dev person, it's like, are you working simultaneously on updating
They're
Modern
usually
Warfare
different.
while also doing?
They're usually different production teams. So like I think they go back and forth between Treyarch and
Activision?
I think Activision's the overall one.
Oh, Infinity Ward.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they are different development teams, I believe.
Oh.
But I will tell you, as a person who works in a software development company, very different. Obviously, I'm not developing video games. But the most fun part of development usually is new development, not fixes and like performance updates and things like that. So I think me personally as a developer, I would like to get the variety of working on new things versus like going back to the old projects.
I guess. But if Modern Warfare is so loved and like they got literally so many things right compared to games in the past, it's like you're almost scared to try something new and disappoint again, because boy do we know they've disappointed us a lot in the past.
Yeah.
So
that's a
I
good
don't know.
point. And they could absolutely disappoint us again.
Yeah. I think they have like such a good base on Modern Warfare that like almost DLC is like the good way to go. Like you have your base foundation just the way that like the player base wants it right now. That like why risk maybe messing it up? But I don't know.
It's that money.
I know.
They're overall they're still a company, you know.
I know. I know.
But I get what you're saying for sure. As just like a fan of the game itself,
Right.
But yeah, I mean, with the updates that they come out with, it is like a new game every time. They're like 100 gigabyte updates every time. So
Right.
you know. But okay, that wasn't very lightning once again.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
I just finished my cup of coffee. That is my calling card.
All right, sounds good. Well,
dude, another great podcast. Always enjoy these.
Absolutely. Super fun. Saturday morning. Thanks for joining the Little Kings. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys.